All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some clarifications on current events. I'll leave it at that. Clarifications on some current events, space related. Space related. We get into a little bit of some dating profile updates. Really just a discussion. Have a good time with it. And then in the junction, we talk about some impressive animal feats of strength. And I'm excited about that to share this with you. All that plus a cage fact coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, a show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. I am beat down. I am tired. It's the end of my week by the time I'm recording this, but just know I'm tired, and I don't expect to get any respite this weekend, because by the time this posts, I will actually already be back from a quick weekend trip to New Jersey for my niece's nephew's sort of like combined birthday party and some other celebration stuff for the family. So I'll be up there for that. In fact, by the time you're listening to this, I'm either there right now or I just got back and it was a great time. It's a nice quick trip. If I have anything, super pertinent to update you on back from back up in the motherland, I'll let you know. But I'm at the end of my previous week recording this, and I am just very tired for some reason. A combination of things, really working hard on spearhead stuff and building relationships with people and prepping some things behind the scenes. Really working hard in the gym. My sleep schedule has been garbage lately for some reason. That's a big thing. That's the big X factor. And I can't figure out why I'm not sleeping well, but I'm sure it's because I spend too much time hitting the sticks at night, but I'm not stopping that, so I got to figure out something else. So, but I'm up in Jersey, quick trip for the festivities and see the family very briefly, and then I'm back down the LPDS compound, and you guys won't even. I'll be back in the compound again for next week's episode, and we'll keep the train rolling. That being said, there's not much to discuss this week, really. I've been head in the sand, head in the weeds, doing stuff. Haven't been paying attention too much to the current events and what's going on with life that's worth talking about. The Yankees haven't been doing terrible, so there's really not much to say there. I will say this: I was watching a game a little while ago, and one of the announcers, it might have been Joe Girardi, he brought up the torpedo bats on the broadcast, and he was saying how he's like, oh, I thought, it was a little funny that, the torpedo bat discussion blew up with the Yanks in the beginning of the season, and now mum's the word on the torpedo bats. I guess the controversy is over. And Michael K chimes in and he said, well, when you're not hitting, nobody cares about them. And I just like for the LPDS as a collective to take the credit for that one, because that's literally the exact thing we said when the torpedo bats first came to power, if you will, became popular. Right after that 20-run game against the Brewers, and all they were talking about were these bats and the secret agent MIT professor that came in and built these bats for them and this and that. What did we say here at the LPDS? And I know other folks that aren't on the show, but that are fans of the LPDS, we had these conversations behind the scenes too. So I know I give the credit to all of you guys, because we've all said it. It said they were only talking about it because the Yankees happened to score 20 runs and hit 9 home runs in a single game. Once they get back to regular old Yankees, nobody's going to care anymore because nobody cared when the other teams were using it. Nobody cared last year when they were experimenting with them in spring training. They only cared because the evil empire Yankees won a game against the Brewers. And Michael Kay he must listen to the show because that's what he said. If you're not hitting, nobody's going to care. And that's exactly what happened. They stopped hitting 9 home runs a game, and the people using the bats are batting under 200. People stopped caring. Okay? So chalk another one up for the LPDS being right again. But that's it for the Yankees. I got nothing else to say. They're not doing terrible. Not doing super great, but, they're doing slightly above average, just like we suspected. So good for them. I do have to bring up some clarification on I keep forgetting the name. Is it the blue? I keep calling it Blue Heron, but it's Blue Origin, the Amazon space flight stuff. Now, we've been talking a lot about different aspects of it and the stupid people on there, or the people acting stupid who were on this voyage. I still don't know for sure if the voyage was real, but I do want to make a correction and debunk a theory that was out there, or I guess part of a theory that was out there about the spaceship not being real. Now, I still don't know for sure. I have to tell you, I have to caveat this. I still don't know for sure if they actually went up even in the physical air. I don't know if these people went into a vessel and that vessel actually left the ground, let alone not just space, but just at all. There's still a good chance that vessel didn't do anything, didn't go up at all. There's also a good chance that it was one of those how you doing? Those flight paths, the parabolic flight paths, where it creates like 30 seconds or so of, maybe even more, of weightless flight. They actually, the military does it. NASA has that with regular airplanes. They do that to help train real astronauts when they prepare to go to space, and they do it. You could pay to do it too, as like a ride or whatever, like a theme park. How you doing? So I don't know if it was that, or if it was completely malarkey or what. But I also like to be objective, and if there's an opportunity to debunk stuff, we'll debunk it here. And credit goes out to my pal Steve McStiff, who reminded me of the physics of space flight and how it's the opposite of, let's say, like ocean voyaging, like submarines. Okay? In space, the pressure is from inside the cabin of the vessel, and it's pushing out. There's no pressure in space. There's no gravity. Okay? Because of that, the hatch that opens on a regular spacecraft should open inward. So we saw some videos out there of people saying, like, look at the video. And I was even saying, like, look at the video. They opened the door, and then Bezos made him close it so that he can open it. It was probably more for the PR stunt so he could get the credit for opening the door that was already open. But it made people think, like, how are they able to open it from the inside? I still don't know the answer to that. I'm not an astronaut, because I do know it is tough to open that thing based on what I've seen from historical space flights and how that works. But the fact that the hinges and the door, the hatch open inward, doesn't make it a fake space flight. If it was a submarine situation and they bring them up to water, that makes it a fake submarine voyage, because underwater the pressure is from the outside in. The water pressure plus the gravity plus other science things I'm probably missing. I'm not very, very good at explaining this stuff because I'm not a science guy. I'm a science enthusiast. I like science, but I'm not intelligent at it. But if you're in a submarine, that hatch has to open out because if the hinges are inside, the further down you go, the more pressure from the outside in, that's pushing that door open. Not so much in space. So that is not a proper delineator to or piece of evidence to suggest that this was a Fugazi space voyage. What this does do, though, and I don't think Steve McStiff realized this, Lieutenant Colonel McStiff or Major McStiff, I don't even know what his rank is these days. What I don't think he realized is that he could very well have provided a piece of evidence that other real space voyages might have been faked, might have been Fugazi. Because if you look at pictures and videos of other historic real space voyages, you will see that those hatches open out. Now, again, I'm not a science guy. There could be very well, a very good explanation for why they have outward bound hatches on some of those vessels. Maybe they know, like, oh, the pressure at this altitude, not a big deal. It's not going to cause any. They're not going to the moon, so they don't need it for that. Blah blah blah. Whatever it may be. If they can even be lying, and I'd probably have no way to prove otherwise because I am not the science guy. I would have to go to, Ivan Drago or somebody who's an actual science man to explain that to me. But there is footage out there of hatches open outward, or at least pictures of hatches with outside hinges on spacecraft. And like I said, I don't think this was intended, but that opens the door to future tinfoil hat discussions on the LPDS because that's what we love here. What other space flights were Fugazi? We haven't talked about that much here, but there's obvious ones that people talk about all the time. The moon landing, the Challenger, even the astronauts that got stranded at the International Space Station. There's videos and people out there on the internets that will challenge the validity of everything now. And most of it is malarkey. Most of it is absolute malarkey. But two reasons why I keep coming back for more. One, the most important reason is I love this stuff. I love a good conspiracy theory. No matter how crazy it is, aliens abducting and anal probing you, the JFK stuff, anything that could have a conspiracy theory behind it, like, oh, this is the real secret reason, I'm in. I want to learn about, I want to hear these people talk. I want to listen to the evidence, and I want to soak it all in. The second reason, number two, is that there have been enough conspiracy theories in my lifetime that have been proven to be true. And I say proven not by just the people claiming it, but like the acknowledgement and consensus of the powers that be, that they have actually been proven true. They're no longer conspiracy theories. They're just conspiracies. This is what actually happened. Enough of them that have been true for me to be curious. Let's gather all the info. Let's do the LPDS critical analysis. Take it all in. Think about it. Assess the situation and see what we can make out of it. At the very least, we're gonna have a good time doing it. We might learn and prove this is absolute malarkey. The birds aren't a real one. That's a big one. That's a big easy one for me to remember. That was a fun one though. And we tracked it back to where it all started with a kid who just decided to make a sign to disrupt the protest. That's all he did. He was just doing a prank. And it became a worldwide conspiracy theory. So, like I said, at the very least, worst case scenario for us, the LPDS, is that they're fake and we had a good time on the ride of learning about this theory. So I'm always gonna talk about them. I'm always gonna investigate. I'm always gonna bring an initial voice to the people making the claims, because you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, you're credible until you're proven stupid and wrong. So the initial person who came out with this hatch thing for the Blue Origin flight, wrong. We gave you your chance, and you got debunked. So, sorry about it. But it opened the door, for lack of a better term, no pun intended. It opened the outward bound hatch to another conspiracy theory about other space flights that we will have to investigate now. And if anybody's going to come to the truth, to get to the truth, it's us here at the LPDS. You know our track record of finding out the truth and finding and being right. It's the highest percentage you can get in the history of the world right now. In the history. No one's been more right. Nostradamus hasn't been more right than the LPDS. So we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to find out what's malarkey, what's real. Did they go to the moon? Did they not? Are there aliens on the moon? Is the moon real? We'll find out. We'll get back to you. So I want to thank Mr. McStiff, General McStiff, not only for providing the good quality debunking information, but also opening up an opportunity for me to continue learning, growing, and improving in my hobby of conspiracy theory and enthusiasms. So, big double thanks to McStiff. That being said, that's it. That being said, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know what I was planning to say, but that's it. Moving on. I want to discuss some dating profile stuff. I haven't. There have been some trending prompts and dating profile responses that I've seen. Not quite enough to discuss and bring up. I'm trying to assess just how trendy they are and how widespread these are becoming. They're still very much on the cusp of being popular. More like boutique trending answers. Probably AI generated. Who knows? We'll find out as I continue digging there and finding these patterns. But I want to discuss what I believe to be the intent behind the prompts of dating apps. I know the intent behind dating apps. Generally, you're finding a match to do whatever you guys match up to do, what you want to do. That's what you're trying to find your match for, whatever your personal intent is. To date, to do under the pants stuff, to cheat on your spouse, to talk, to chat, to get a dopamine hit from matches, whatever your intent, that's what they're there for. So I get that. But my belief on the prompts and the biographies that they allow you to type into your dating profiles, it's to provide a sense of who you are, what your values are, what you're looking for, and if you could do it with a little humor and unique charm, you're gonna be a better person for you. You're set yourself up more for success. What I don't think the intent is, and how I don't use it, I guess I'll caveat that this is not one of those you're all wrong and stupid for doing this. You have to do it my way. Don't listen to me. Okay? I'm still an outdoor cat. clearly what I'm doing is not working very well, or I'm just weeding out the people not right for me. That's how I like to look at it. Not that I'm not doing well, it's just the right match has not found my profile yet. That being said, what I don't think is for is to put obvious crap in there about yourself that people conceive just based off your pictures or your gender or where you're from. Like if you have the demographic stuff in there and you have pictures of yourself doing stuff, not doing stuff, what are just pictures of yourself, there's the obvious stuff that you can garner from that information does not need to be mentioned in the prompts. The prompts are for additional information to so we can learn about people. And I've been seeing far too many times recently, I don't know if it's out of laziness or people just don't see that it's already on their profile. Like for instance, Hinge. There's a section in there that says, what are you looking for? Like monogamy, non-monogamy, long-term, short-term, whatever. And somebody puts long-term, and then you could add a little bit in there. I am looking for the real deal, but I'm not trying to rush it. I'm trying to take it slow, but I am serious. Don't answer a prompt with, I am looking for the real deal, but I already saw that. You just wasted space. Now I double know that. I don't need to double know that. You made it quite clear in the above biographical information, demographic information, that you don't need to repeat yourself. Fat people, morbidly obese people, guys and girls, we're not discriminating here. You don't have to put, I go crazy for food. We know you go crazy for food. Okay? You don't have to put it. That's fine. I can see you go crazy for food. That's awesome. There are plenty of other people who you will see on their profiles that are also clearly crazy for food without having to say it. You don't need to put that in there. Okay? I don't put in my profile that I could smell your farts from a mile away. Look at my pictures. You can tell by my side profile that I could smell farts a mile away, for better or worse. Not that I want to brag about that, but you can look at me and be like, oh, that guy's sense of smell is on another level. If I put that in there, you're going to be like, man, I already knew that, dude. Teach me something I don't know about you. Be better. Wow me. It's not a wow factor. I'm looking at you. I know you can detect drugs in the airport. Be better. Do something else. Tell me something different. So this is just a recommendation for everybody. Again, take it for what you will. For all the outdoor cats out there, you have an opportunity in your profiles if you take a little extra time. Now, if you're lazy about it and your intent is to just do some mindless scrolling and swiping on people for the dopamine hits when you're bored, fine. You can be lazy about it, put whatever you want, that's fine. But if you're actually looking for something and you're making a concerted effort and the in real life stuff is not going well for you, I recommend you take the opportunities that are provided in these profiles to add unique, different information, various information to show who you are, present who you are, without stating the obvious, okay? If you have a picture of you at a basketball game watching an NBA team, you don't need to put in another prompt, I like basketball. Yeah, I know. Okay? Got it. You don't have to add that in there. Take the opportunity. There's the photos that you can send a message in. There's the different prompts that they provide you a bunch of different options of questions and stuff that you can reply to That's different. The biographical information also says different things about you. You could put your job in there and you can make it custom. I've seen people who are teachers and they say, and their job is, I wrangle preschoolers or kindergartners all day for 10 months a year or whatever. Clever way of saying, I'm a teacher. I teach kindergarten. Cool. You can be creative in that regard. But take advantage of that. Take advantage of that stuff. You can say whether you like to do pots or do drugs or drink. If you want kids, if you don't want kids. You could put your college you went to. You could put what you're looking for, what kind of relationship type you're interested in, and it gives you opportunities to expound upon it a little bit. Take all those little opportunities to put in those unique things about yourself. Only a recommendation, not a mandate. Just think about not repeating yourself and not being redundant. You have the opportunity to put 12, 16 different things that show who you are and all these different arenas, avenues of this profile. To be creative about it. You could put in your picture you hiking. You can have a picture that is a layout of 3 different pictures of you at different mountaintops. And then you don't have to waste typing space on a prompt that says, I love hiking. I know. If you have more than one picture of you hiking, you like hiking. Okay? Nobody who hates hiking is taking pictures of themselves hiking. They're not hiking. There's no pictures to take. So you don't have to do that. But you can tell a story in those pictures. Now you have an open prompt to say something else about yourself. And get creative. And be honest. If you like to be a bum on the couch some days, you could put that in there. Look, I know people are very self-conscious and insecure, and they want to present their best self out there to the dating world. Completely understand that. And I do this as well in some form. At least when you first start dating somebody, you're not farting in front of them. You're not picking your nose. You're not saying slurs and other stuff in front of them. You're keeping it pretty tight, You're putting your best foot forward. I got it. But you can also creatively show who you really are and be honest out there in a way that says like, oh, this is a normal person, but it might actually be, I might enjoy rotting on the couch with them. If you have just a bunch of pictures of you laying on a couch or recliner, and then it just says, I like to watch TV and play video games, like you're not somebody that is showing much value to yourself, but to others as well. So take the opportunity to be creative. Don't waste space on stuff that's blatantly obvious. I know you like food. Okay? I know you know the best place in town for pizza. All I had to do was look at you, and I know, I know who to go to when I want to find the best banana split in the city. I'm going to you. If somebody wants to be able to smell marijuana in their kid's house or the kid's bedroom, excuse me, single mom, and she's like, I think my kid's smoking pots, but I can't find it. I need someone to sniff it out for me. They just look at my profile and hit me up. I'm here. I can do it. I don't have to mention that as an unusual skill. Okay? So just a recommendation to everybody. That's all it is. I'm not saying you're wrong or you're bad for doing it. I'm saying you might be missing out on an opportunity to set yourself apart from the rest by not providing a little bit more unique qualities about yourself or things you like. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Okay? And this is not coming from a guy who's got it all figured out in the outdoor cat world. This is just something that I think might benefit the dating pool for all of us. I can't imagine those people are scrolling and they see someone stating the obvious and they're like, oh, this person is right up my alley. That doesn't happen that way, unfortunately, in real life. So just a professional courtesy. So that's all I got to say about that. With that, we'll get into the good stuff. Finally, we'll step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Constitutional Collectibles. Oh, boy. Are you a collector of highly exclusive items throughout sports history and looking to add something different to the mix? Then check out what they've got over at Constitutional Collectibles. Tony Riggs has created the Steiner Sports of presidential memorabilia you won't find anywhere else and will make your collection the talk of the town. Browse their list of one-of-a-kind items like the front leg of the chair Abe Lincoln was sitting at in Ford's Theater, the shell from JFK's Magic Bullet, a piece of Oval Office-worn blue dress fabric from Monica Lewinsky, a chunk of Twin Tower steel signed by George Bush, a wedding dress from Obama drone strikes, and so much more. So to level up your memorabilia collection today, visit www.controversialcollection.com, and if you use the promo code memorabilia over morals, you'll get 29% off your first order. My grandfather, JPL2, rest in power. He was in World War II. He was a veteran in World War II with his 7 other brothers. And they would grab, they called them, war trophies. And I talked about this before from World War II. You can't really get away with that nearly as much now. You have to go through. There's a little bit more of a bureaucratic process to take back some war trophies. I tried to take some back, but they couldn't fit. You had to do paperwork to get some stuff back, and I couldn't get stuff back from Afghanistan in time. I finished the paperwork and stuff, but there wasn't enough room in the baggage and whatever it was. I forgot the deal, but it's a lot harder now. But Tony Riggs has now secured a vehicle, if you will, for people to be able to collect these items now, this memorabilia, without having to go through, jump through all the hoops to do it. So, sounds like really great stuff to me. Anyway, yikes. The Cage Fact. This is a quick one. I thought it was a little humorous and funny to me for a number of reasons, but Nic Cage's son, Weston Cage, got married this past week. Now, this is funny to me for a number of reasons. Like I said, number one, Nic Cage was in the wedding party, one of the groomsmen. I don't know if he was best man or not, but he was in the wedding party. Photos of him and his son and whatever. Now, this is the same son who is being sued by his own mom for the assault stuff, the assault charges that I don't know if he's still being charged criminally for that or if she dropped those charges and is just suing him. I don't know the update on that end, but I just thought it was a little humorous that in the midst, we're in the middle of him getting sued by his own mom for allegedly getting drunk and hitting her, beating her up. He's having a wedding. Okay. The other thing I find funny is that this is his 4th marriage. What makes that funny to me is that he is in a race with his old man for most marriages. Now he has a chance to win this race, to overtake his old man, NC, the great one, because I can't imagine. Well, I guess I could imagine. It's Nic Cage. I have to believe that Nic Cage is not going to get married again after this. This is his fifth and final marriage to I forgot her name, but they're still married. They have a kid together. This could be it. Who knows? But his son is hot on his heels, securing marriage number 4, and she is a good-looking woman. And two things come to mind every time I see a fellow who is either not physically attractive or just doesn't have anything going for them with an attractive woman. Two things every time, and I'll mention it every time. The first is, it's a dichotomy of emotions, by the way. That's what it is. The first is, how is it possible that this guy landed this gal? There's no way. Now, he's a Cage. I get that. I get the appeal. He's a Cage. It probably has something to do with it. But he is not a good-looking guy. He's heavy. He's got long, stringy hair, like an old Ozzy Osbourne kind of stringy hairdo. He's potentially still an active alcoholic. I don't know. I don't know if he's getting that fix or not, if he's working through it. And he's potentially also a domestic abuser. And I hate to say it about Nic Cage's offspring, but the facts are the facts. And this is not his first wife. This is his fourth. He has managed to find 4 women that not only want to engage a conversation with him, they want to, at one point in their lives, they wanted to spend the rest of their life with him. And I can't seem to get anybody to want to do that with me. So there's that emotion. Tough. The other emotion, which is the more powerful sentiment, as I continue to learn, grow, and improve, it's become the more powerful sentiment in my mindset training, is that if that guy could do it, I could do it. If he could get that, imagine what's coming my way. With a little, with continued work, attacking the process, and staying strong, following the big 3, I'll be just fine. If that guy with all his stuff going on is able to land 4 hot babes like that, I'm going to be just fine. And that's like I said, that's the overpowering sentiment and mindset I have. But I always get those 2 feelings immediately when I see that going on. It's always at first jealous. That's getting smaller. I'm happy to say that feeling of jealousy and envy is getting smaller, of the why couldn't it be me situation. It's gonna, like, the overpowering sentiment it will be me, and it's gonna be me in tenfold, 10x that, because I'm much better than that. So anyway, that's the Cage fact. Nic Cage was a groomsman, possibly the best man at his son's 4th wedding this past week. All on the cusp of the release of 5 new movies he's got coming out any second now. The guy just nonstop. He's no stranger to weddings and celebrations and tomfoolery and what have you. So there you go. That's the Cage fact. You're welcome. We'll move it on over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. I want to discuss some dual impressive feats of strength that occurred last week, whenever you're listening to this previously to recording this. Okay? Now, I always knew my dog Randy was an athlete. I always knew he's athletically built. He's got good, muscular structure, everything about him. He's fast, he's quick, he's aggressive, he's a go-getter. Okay? He is a trench dog. because if there's a fight to be had, he's ready. He's not afraid of everything. He should be afraid of stuff, but he's not afraid of anything. I don't know where he gets that from. Certainly not me. I'm afraid of a lot of stuff. But he's just a savage in that regard. And for a long time now, he's been having it out with the local rodents in the yard, like I've mentioned many times before. And I have a 7-foot fence. It's a wood fence, picket fence, I guess you can call it. 7-foot tall fence. So he can't jump over the fence, and not in a one leap. It's not like he can't hurdle over it. But he's found ways to athletically parkour to the top of it. And each time he gets higher and higher. And he does this because he sees an animal on the top. Most of the time it's squirrels. Sometimes it's cats, raccoons, and most recently possums. And he's gotten closer and closer each time to being able to get his head above the fence line to have a good go at it. It's just like dunking a basketball. If you can touch the rim with the tip of your fingers, does not mean you can dunk. You have to be able to get your hand, your wrist to the rim, probably even a little bit more, to be able to actually hold the ball and then dunk it home. Okay, you have to get over to get in it, so to speak. So he's gotten to the point where he's getting close. Every time he chases after an animal, he's getting closer to getting his head above the rim to be able to snag him. And he's looking for a friend. The problem with Randy and most dogs is their idea of getting this other animal to be friends with them is they have to stop them in their tracks. And these other animals, all they see is a threat, a predator coming at them, so they're going to run. They're not going to just stand there. Now, in reality, if they just stood there and didn't do anything, he wouldn't even chase after them. He would walk up to them, sniff their butt, and try to be pals with them. He's done it with cats before. He's done it with other animals. Every time we're around little dogs and other animals, other pets, if they don't move and they stand there, he gives them a sniff, and then he wants to be pals with you. But if you run, he has to stop you so he can do his sniff. Okay? Again, the problem with that is to stop these other animals, he has to get them in his clutches. The Carol clutch. The crazy Carol clutch. He does it with his jaw. She did it to other people's jaws with her meat hooks. And most of the time, if he catches something, he ends up, destroying it. And it's over. The friend is done. Okay, and he gets all sad because the pal is not playing with him, and then I have to go take care of it. This time, it was a possum. Now, this possum has been terrorizing poor Randy for years now here at the LPDS compound. And not because he's doing it on purpose. I genuinely believe that this possum is he's got a good thing going in this part of the neighborhood. Okay? He's got a place to live at my one neighbor's area with a bunch of trees and no animals, no pets there to bother him. And then my other neighbor across, next to me on the other side has a giant pear tree that he's not picking all the pears off this tree. So the possum has food. All he has to do is cross over my compound to get to the food and bring it back to his or her family or whatever. So he hangs around there. And he does it at nighttime because they're nocturnal. Never see them during the day. Squirrels are during the day. Birds are during the day. Possums at nighttime. And what ends up happening is the strip mall behind the house has these giant floodlights on the top of them, and they just got new ones, and they blast into my house. It's like it's white light. It's not red light, but it's like the Kenny Rogers roasters in the Seinfeld episode across the street from Kramer's house. It's just blinding me. I need to actually now get new. I need to get additional curtains for my sliding door. I have blinds for the sliding door that I could put up and down when I want to use the door to take the dog out and go outside. Now I need blackout curtains because it's legit light in my room at night. That's probably actually, thinking about it now, the reason why I've been sleeping like garbage lately, because they upgraded the lights back there and it's daytime in my freaking room. Regardless, they have these floodlights, and the little possum pal is always skedaddling across the top of the fence, and you could see his silhouette in the light. And he see the motion, and it drives Randy insane from inside the house. It drives him insane. And I have to actually keep him out of the room because I don't want him to break the glass trying to get to this guy of the sliding door, break the sliding door glass. Now, this particular night, the possum was not on the normal fence line and straight behind us. He was on the side, straddling the fence line that straddles the neighbor's house where I believe this possum lives and resides. And right next to that, in that back corner of my yard, there's that fence line that comes together in the corner like this. And then in the corner of that is a tree. So he can jump to the tree and jump to each part of the fence. And he's got options there. Well, unfortunately for Possum, that side of the fence is close enough to the door, the sliding door where we go outside, for Randy to get to him before he can do anything. And most of the time, like I said, Randy can't get to him. He can't parkour off the fence and catapult himself up high enough to grab him. Usually. On this night, Randy exuded incredible athletic feats of strength and was able to snag this possum. And he didn't just like grab him by the tail like a last ditch effort. He got him like a dog holding a football. He got him in the middle of his torso and brought him right down to the ground. Now, it was dark out. It was light because of the floodlights, but it was nighttime. So you couldn't see. In the daytime, you could see if there's blood splattering everywhere, if the possum's putting up a fight or whatever, if the animal's putting up whatever. Couldn't really see that going on because also, too, he was under the tree, so it was a little darker under the tree. He got him down, and then all of a sudden he just stared at it. He didn't have it in his mouth long. He wasn't shaking his head or trying to subdue him. With other animals, and we'll get to this in a second. With other animals, they're fighting for their lives to try to get out of the clutches of a dog's mouth. And then the dog instinctively is like, well, let me shake this thing to stop it from doing this. And that's when they usually end up, penetrating the skin and killing the thing. He caught it. It was almost like somebody threw it up and he jumped on the fence like he robbed a home run and he brought it back down and then he rested it on the ground. It was impressive. That also was impressive on how he not politely but carefully rested it on the ground. Now the first thing I did was I got him. I grabbed him. I grabbed Randy and I was like, "You got to come with me. We're going inside." I wiped him down just to see if he had any. I checked him for cuts and what have you. He was clean. He had some saliva on him because he's got his adrenaline pumping and he got, that's what happens when he gets a taste of war. The bloodlust comes in strong and he was, and he thought he was in trouble. And I was stern with him, but he wasn't in trouble. I was stern with him so I can get him to snap out of the zone to listen to me, to get him out of the combat area. And I got him inside, and I was like, okay. And as I'm grabbing him and I get him outside, I take a quick look at the possum. And this is where the second impressive animal feats of strength comes into play. Because I took a look at this possum. I can't see if there's any blood or anything on there, but the possum is laying on the ground, not stiff like a frozen, petrified, body, like a rigor mortis body, but limp as if he had no bones in him. You know how in sometimes in the Family Guy show, the cartoon, where if Peter like falls and they try to make the character look dead, they just go limp and like his arm is behind his back and his body's doing things that only dead bodies can, like loose dead bodies can do. I said loose, I meant limp. That's what he looked like. He had one paw behind his head, his tail was between his legs, the other legs like his torso was twisted like it was broken 4 times. And I was like, oh, this thing is dead. Like this thing is dead. Now I have to take care of it. Now I have to go. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I was very much considering just grabbing it and tossing it back over into my neighbor's yard, mainly because they're redoing the whole house. They're flipping the house now and they're redoing the yard. So they'll dig it up and they'll just look at it and be like, oh, this possum died in the yard. So I bring in Randy inside and then I come back out and I have a bat with me. My yellow bat that I batted 8,000 with in that men's summer league that never brought me back. And I had a bag with me just in case I wanted to bag it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I had a flashlight with me. And I go out there, and what do I see? I see my old possum pal just casually climbing up the tree, not even running up, not fearing for his life, just casually like, we're just going to go up here and hang out in this tree now where it's safe. And I sat there stunned. Not because I didn't know what possums do, but because I never saw it in real life. Okay? You see on TV, you learn about possums playing dead. And you see it on TV and the cartoons make, reenact it all the time. And it's the joke, playing possum. Me and the creature saw a homeless bum playing possum one time. Creature picked it out the first time we walked past this guy. I missed it. I think I was looking down at my phone, probably trying to do outdoor cat stuff on a dating app, doing swipes, and he pointed out, he's like, this guy's playing possum. I was like, what do you mean? He's just sleeping. He's like, no, he was awake just now. And then we come back from eating, we're walking back, and I see him awake, and he sees us, and he goes down and plays dead. He's playing possum. And we had a good laugh about it. We might have talked about it on a previous episode, but it was one of the funniest tactics because it's the exact scenario you want as a person walking on the street and seeing a bum. You don't want to be bothered or ask for money. You don't want them, what if they're crazy or something and they're going to do something with it? No, this guy is like, you got the floor. I'm going to play possum. And we joked that we called it playing possum, the possum bum. He plays possum. And then you hear the people on like Discovery Channel when they're talking about possums and the scientific way, like I have to imagine they can do something with their body that makes them able to go limp like that. Like maybe their heart rate slows down, like their body actually triggers an actual effect, a response. It's not just them standing still and hoping this goes away. I think they almost create like a pseudo death situation for them, like their body does. That's the survival instinct. Somebody who's interested in this and knows more about it will probably chime in. Hopefully, you can call the hotline 202-670-1114 to let me know. But when I tell you he was dead, I'm telling you, he was. And I even said in my head, I said to myself, I was grabbing Randy. That's why I brought the bat out. Because I was like, oh, like this, he could be just playing possum. And I had to be able to defend myself in case he's going to be on the attack. I don't know why, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't know why fireworks just went off, but fireworks in the background just went off on the video. Stupid. Anyway, so that's why I brought the bat out. When I came back out, I was like, well, I got to be just in case he's playing possum. But I saw him. I saw the grab, the home run robbery that Randy made. I think this is actually death, not dead. And again, I knew like they call it playing possum for a reason. That's what they do. Well, exactly what he just did, that's what they're known for. But I couldn't believe it because I never actually saw it in person until that night. And it was one of the most impressive feats ever because he sold it in every way you sell death. He checked off every box that you can, short of not having a pulse. And I don't know that for sure because I didn't feel his heart rate to see if he had a pulse. I didn't feel his neck or his wrist to see if his pulse stopped. Because he's a possum. I'm not going to touch a possum with my bare hands like that. Every other item on the list to prove death, he did. Body limp. Body torqued in a way that only dead bodies can torque. The possum even shit himself. Did you ever hear about that? When people die because their everything is now dead and limp and loose, their sphincter loosens and they defecate in their pants. That's exactly what he did. In fact, there was doo-doo on Randy's paw. I had to wash off when I got him inside when I saw him right before. I was like, oh shit, stay right here. I'm going to wash you off before you walk around in my house. Because he had doo-doo on it. And that was another thing. I saw that and I was like, oh, this guy, he's shit. He's dead. Okay? Limp body, arm out of socket behind his head, other arm is up his ass after he shit. And there's diarrhea on the floor around him from death shit. This is what happens when you die. You go limp and you shit. And you don't move a muscle. He wasn't breathing. His body was going up and down for breathing. Nothing. Every box checked. Dead, 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 dead. And I just was, hand up, I was just not familiar with the possum's actual game and their actual skill and this ability to play possum. You always hear about it. Playing possum, play dead. Just play dead. But when you see kids play dead in games, or you hear about people playing dead, well, play dead if a bear comes. What do? We get stiff and we just don't move. We just stand still. And any other human looking around could be like, oh, that guy's alive. He's just playing dead. And I was just unfamiliar with the actual caliber and of the possum's ability to play possum. To do what they do best. To do what they were born to do. Trick everything around them into thinking they're dead. And god damn it, did he trick me. He tricked Randy, everybody. He did it. And there was no puncture wounds on him. He wasn't bleeding. I watched him slowly go out. I put the flashlight to him on the tree. I was about this far away from the tree. If you're looking in YouTube land, from me to the wall here, arm's length away, I got that close to him as he casually went up to see if he had any puncture wounds or broken limbs or anything. Nothing. The guy just turned it on, or turned it off, I guess you could say. When the shit got real, he knew exactly what he had to do and how to do it. And he was the consummate professional in his work, in his career, in his role. That's what you want. Oh, you're a possum? Prove it to me. Play dead. Got it. You got it, pal. Like, he absolutely lived up and died up to every aspect of the term playing possum. And it saved his life for it. And I know that's a survival mechanism. And it is the most effective survival mechanism I have seen in the wild to date. In real life for me. Not on TV. You see stuff on TV about fish camouflaging in the water and these things doing that, and even possums. On TV, I saw possums playing dead on Discovery Channel on these wildlife shows. But this was the most effective survival technique I've seen in real life actually being played out. I need to survive. I need to play dead, but I need to be anything. I need to be as dead as possible without being medically dead. And that's what they do. And God damn it, did he do it well. Even though I knew this is what they're known for. This is what they do. They're possums. I know we call them possums, but it's spelled opossum. It's like an opossum, but we call them possums. I don't know why, just because it's probably easier to pronounce. But we know. I've seen it on TV. I've had it explained to me. Hey, watch out for possums. They're going to play dead on you. Be careful because they could come back to life. And you hear stories. This possum played dead for hours while the animal control came and picked it up and moved him to a different part of the neighborhood. The whole time they thought he was dead, and as soon as they let him go, he's back alive. You hear the stories, you know what goes on. You know that these things are going to play dead. And in the heat of the moment, I even said it to myself, I brought a bat out with me. Hey, you never know. This guy could just be playing dead. And he still got me. He was so good at it. He's like, yeah, listen to me. I don't just play dead. I'm going to trick your whole bloodline into thinking I'm dead. Your world is never going to be the same. I'm going to be so good at playing dead to save my own life, which is crazy. You play dead to save your life. I'm going to be so good at it, you're not going to know what hit you. You're going to know. I'm going to tell you the game plan. This is what this fucking possum did. Sorry, T Family Show. This is what this damn possum did. He told me what he was going to do for years. Told you, hey, I'm the possum. I play dead. Okay? If you come after me, if you try to grab me, if you try to do anything, I'm going to play dead. I'm telling you right now. And I'm also telling you, I'm so good at it, you're still going to think I'm dead. You're not going to remember that I'm playing dead this whole time. I'm going to play dead. I'm telling you right, I'm going to play dead. I'm not going to be dead. I'm going to pretend to be dead. I'm going to fake my death. I'm going to pretend to be dead right in front of your stupid big nose that smells farts from a mile away. And I'm going to be so goddamn good at it that I'm still going to make you think that I'm dead. Even though I'm telling you I'm not dead, I'm alive. But I'm still going to get you. You stupid, dumb, big-nosed bastard. I'm going to get you. You ready? You ready? Dead. And I knew it the whole time. This guy can't be dead. He's playing possum. And then I walk up to him and I was like, he's dead. That's it. He's dead. I even, in my head, I was like, look, I know he's going to play possum. So I had to look for real signs of death here because Randy got a good grip on him. He got a football grip on him. He robbed that home run and he got the whole jaw around him. He probably broke his back. And I looked for all the signs. Torso all out of whack, twisted up like a pretzel. Limbs all over the place, out of their sockets. He shit himself. He doesn't look like he's breathing. There's no breathing or movement whatsoever. Okay, I think Randy actually got him. I don't think this possum can play dead because he's really dead. All right, let me go take care of Randy. I'll be right back to take care and bury this possum and give it a funeral. I come back and possum's up there smoking a fucking cigarette in the tree, jacking off on me. And like, hey, told you. Like a magician. where they tell you, like, I'm going to make this car disappear and it's going to come out your asshole. You're like, no, you're not. And then 2 hours later at the end of the show, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you check your asshole real quick? Oh, my God, it's a 2 of spades. The whole time you knew about it. And he's sitting there smoking and joking up there at midnight with the floodlights on him in a glorious, glorious glow with that evil-looking grin that those possums have because they're not very good-looking creatures. That almost makes them cute. They're so ugly. And he's sitting up there, and he's just like your old man after a Thanksgiving dinner. And he is sitting there, patting his tummy. And he takes a quick rip of his cig, and he, that's showbiz, baby. And if I knew what currency possums accept, I would have emptied my bank account to give it to him. And I was already impressed with Randy's ability to not just get up there and scare him, but to grab him, to rob the home run right out of the gate and bring him down and not injure himself. He got high up in the air. His chest was almost 7 feet high by the time he got to the top. I was already impressed with that. That's why I wasn't even that mad. I was like, holy shit, he got him. Usually what he does is he hits the fence and it shakes the fence and the possum jumps down or falls down on the other side and he's safe and he leaves. But this time he got him. I was like, oh my God, he's an athlete. I got to sign him up for something. For one of those athletic dog events or something. Get him at the back of like a 7-Eleven and bet on him doing tricks for for money. I don't know what to do with him. I was so impressed. And it got completely overshadowed. It's like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter and then everybody forgetting about it because the batter on his team hits a game-winning grand slam to win the game, and everyone's cheering for that guy. They forget about the pitcher who just threw a no-hitter. That's what it was like. Randy dunked the ball. Randy robs a home run out of nowhere with his mouth, no opposable thumbs. And then this guy, this possum, gives the performance of a lifetime. The performance of a lifetime. It's like if you combined Nic Cage with Leo DiCaprio, Steve Carell. Who's the guy from There Will Be Blood in Gangs in New York? That guy. What the hell is his name? The method actor, does the cobbler. He's the cobbler in that one movie. God, what the hell is his name? Creature will remind me. Bone Crusher will remind me. It was all those performances combined. Think of the best acting performance you've ever seen in your life. Movie, theater, whatever. Think about the best one. And then multiply it by 10. And that's what this possum did. This possum died. Just to prove, to show you, nobody's placed possum better than me. I'm going to be dead. I'm going to leave no doubt in your mind that I am actually dead. And then I'm going to go up there and smoke this Pall Mall in your stupid big nose face. And that's what he did. And nobody got hurt. And what could have been a very chaotic situation, tumultuous situation. Randy could have got hurt, fallen from that height. He's not a cat. He doesn't always land on his feet, the dumb bastard. Could have scratched himself on the fence on the way down. The possum could have got him. And then the possum could have been dead. He could have, Randy could have punctured him. He could have shaken him and broken his back for real. But nobody got hurt. And it's proof of two things. One, it's proof of what we talked about earlier, that if if you just stand still, Randy's not going to be a problem. He's not going to come after you. This possum went down like a sack of potatoes, and that was it. Randy was done. He's like, okay, guess you don't want to play. I'll see you later, pal. He didn't run. He didn't fight back. And it proved that. And two, nobody plays possum like the possums. If there's ever a phrase or a term or an action that you can 100% take to the bank with you as being true and as real as possible, it's playing possum is as legit as it gets. Like, there's a lot of different sayings out there and terms and things about animals and people and stuff, like lion's the king of the jungle. Well, not really. But playing possum, you can take it to the bank. If somebody said this possum is going to play dead, or this is going to, I'm going to play possum, like, take it to the bank. Okay? That is the most true description of an animal, not a nickname, but not a catchphrase. Damn it, what am I thinking of? Something to describe this possum, like what he does, what he is known for. Oh, he played, like, they named this survival act after the possum. That's how good they was. And it's not just like, hey, we'll throw the possum a bone because he's ugly and most people don't like them. It is because there is not an animal or a human or a mammal or anything with a heartbeat in existence on this earth that can play dead like the possum can. Humans play dead. Like, that is a tactic they tell you to do depending on the situation with certain animals. Play dead. Okay? Other animals do it too in some way, shape, or form. But the possum does it on such another level that for the entire animal kingdom, God's animal kingdom, they named that survival act after the possum. That's how good they were. And I can't stop thinking about it. I'm not even mad that I got duped. Usually I would be mad of, like, I knew this was going to happen and I still got worked. Until you see it in real life, until you see it close up in real life, because everyone thinks to themselves, and I did it too. You're like, now he's going to be stiff, and that's how you know. Like, dead bodies don't get stiff that quickly. He'll just be stiff, and I'll know he's playing possum, and he'll be out of my hair soon. Or you'll be able to see him breathing even a little bit, like his little lungs breathing a little bit. Or he won't have shit all over him. He won't shit himself. Or his arm won't be twisted up behind his back like a ramen noodle. That's how you'll know that he's just playing dead and he's not really dead. Until you see it in real life up close. You'll never quite I don't think you'll believe me when I tell you this. That thing was dead. I've never seen a more impressive walking the walk. Not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Hey, I am known for playing dead. Oh, yeah? Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. Okay? And we're going to debrief it after while I sit up in this tree and smoke a cigarette in your face. And you're going to sit here and apologize to me after I show you how good I am at being dead. And he did it. And it saved his life. Okay? He lives to smoke another day. He lives to play possum another day. And I couldn't have been more impressed. It was the most impressive evening I've had in a long time. And I didn't even do anything. I just went to my backyard to go piss in the yard with my dog. And some of the most impressive athletic feats I've seen in a long time happened right before my eyes. And that's all I have to say about that. Before we go, very quickly, the big three, the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being and being able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Number one, exercise every day. Do something every day to improve your physical, mental, or emotional fitness and health and wellness. Number two, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be negative or angry or react to your negative emotions in any way, shape, or form, take the LPDS step back, detach from those negative emotions, and omit yourself from the situation. Very hard to do, though. I get it. Number three, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this every day. I'll leave in a little bit each and every day by thinking about one good thing you have in your life and thinking about how shitty it would be without that thing. And that'll immediately put you in the state of gratitude. And the more often you're in that state of gratitude, the less likely you're going to be a shitty person. And the more time you'll have to go exercise. And if you do all those three things a little bit each and every day, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being. Be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put your notifications on. Hit the hotline, 202-670-1114. Love the hotline calls. I miss them. I do have a call. I forgot to play it today. I'll play it next week. It's nothing crazy, but it's a call, so we'll put it on there next time. 202-670-1114 is the number. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.